I planned the surprise for over 2 months. I imagined tears, hugs, maybe even hearing my daughter scream, "Dad!" Instead, 5 minutes after I walked through the front door, one sentence exposed a lie that nearly destroyed my family. My name is Mark. I've been married to my wife, Lisa, for 24 years. Our daughter, Sophie, is 21. She's always been my little girl, even after she moved away for college. We talked almost every week, or at least, I thought we did. My job requires frequent travel. Sometimes I'd be gone, for weeks. Last spring, I finished a project earlier than expected. Instead of telling anyone, I decided to surprise Sophie at her apartment. Lisa loved the idea. She's going to cry when she sees you. I smiled. I hope so. I bought her favorite cheesecake on the way, even picked up flowers. The entire drive, I kept imagining her reaction. I had no idea my surprise wasn't going to be for her. It was going to be for me. When I knocked on her apartment door, I heard footsteps running. The door flew open. "Dad?" She wrapped her arms around me before I could say a word. That hug made every mile I'd traveled worth it. She laughed. "You should have told me. I wanted to surprise you." She invited me inside. The apartment was small but cozy, books everywhere, half-finished paintings leaning against the walls. It looked exactly like Sophie. We'd only been talking for about 5 minutes when someone knocked. Sophie immediately froze. "I'll get it." She opened the door. A young man stood there holding 2 grocery bags. He smiled, then noticed me. "Oh." His smile disappeared. "I didn't know your dad was here." Sophie looked nervous. "Dad?" "This is Noah." Her boyfriend? I'd heard his name before. They'd been dating for almost a year. He seemed polite. We shook hands. No problems. Then my phone buzzed. It was Lisa. I answered with a smile. "Guess who I'm with?" She laughed. "Sophie." "You guessed it." Then I jokingly said, "You forgot to tell me Noah practically lives here." Silence. Then Lisa quietly replied, "What do you mean?" Before I could answer, Sophie whispered something to Noah. She thought I couldn't hear. He wasn't supposed to come until next month. My stomach tightened. Wasn't supposed to. Why would that matter? The conversation instantly felt different. I ended the call, sat back down, then casually asked, "So, how often are you two together?" Noah answered, honestly, almost every day. Sophie shot him a look. He stopped talking. I wasn't suspicious yet, just confused. Then Noah said something that changed everything. "I still can't believe your mom kept it secret this long." The room went completely silent. He looked at Sophie. Sophie looked at the floor. I slowly asked, "Kept what secret?" Nobody answered. Finally, Noah realized he'd said something he wasn't supposed to. "I thought you knew." "Knew what?" My heart started racing. Sophie began crying. "I'm sorry, Dad." "I wanted to tell you." "Telling me what?" She took a deep breath. "Mom asked me not to." Suddenly, nothing made sense anymore. Lisa had asked our daughter to hide something from me. What? An engagement? A move? Debt? My mind raced through 100 possibilities. Finally, Sophie spoke. "Mom lost her job 6 months ago." I stared at her. "What? She didn't want you worrying while you were traveling?" I couldn't believe it. Lisa had pretended to leave for work every morning, pretended everything was normal. She'd secretly been searching for jobs while I was working out of state. Sophie knew. Noah knew. Apparently, everyone knew except me. I immediately drove home, not angry, just hurt. When I walked through the front door, Lisa was sitting at the kitchen table. She looked at my face and instantly knew. "Sophie told you." I nodded. "Why?" She started crying before saying a word. "Because I know you." "What does that mean?" "You would have quit your project. You would have come home. You would have sacrificed another promotion." She wasn't wrong. I would have Without hesitation, I didn't want to be the reason your career stopped. I sat across from her for 24 years. We've handled everything together. So why handle this alone? She quietly admitted she'd felt ashamed. She'd worked at the same company for 17 years. One restructuring meeting, and it was over. Every rejection afterward made her confidence disappear. I didn't want you seeing me like that. That sentence broke my heart, not because she'd lost her job, because she'd believed she had to hide it from me. The next morning we drove to breakfast. No phones, no distractions, just us for 3 straight hours we talked, really talked, about money, fear, retirement, everything we'd both been pretending wasn't bothering us. For the first time in months, neither of us felt alone. 3 weeks later, Lisa accepted a position at a nonprofit organization. The pay was lower, but she'd never looked happier. She came home smiling every single day. One evening, she admitted something. Losing that job might have been the best thing that ever happened. Not because unemployment was easy, because it forced us to stop pretending we had to carry our burdens alone. A few months later, we visited Sophie again. This time, no surprises, no secrets. During dinner, Noah laughed and said, "I still feel terrible for opening my mouth." I smiled. "Don't. If you hadn't, we might still be hiding things from each other." Looking back, karma didn't expose some shocking betrayal. It exposed something just as dangerous: silence. The silence we convince ourselves is protecting the people we love. Most of the time, it isn't. It's simply building distance. One secret at a time. If there's one lesson I learned, it's this. Marriage isn't about protecting your spouse from life's problems. It's about making sure they never face those problems alone. If you've ever discovered a family secret completely by accident, share your story in the comments below. Sometimes the surprise you planned ends up revealing the conversation your family needed all along.